Most people lose their day before it even begins. The moment the alarm rings, they reach for their phone, scroll through notifications, news, or someone else's drama. And without realizing it, they hand over their peace, their focus, and their strength. By the time they've had their first sip of coffee, their emotions are no longer their own. They're borrowed from the noise of the outside world. But there is a different way to live. The ancient Stoics believed the morning is not just another part of the day. It is your kingdom. What you do with it determines how you will stand against everything that follows. And while 99% of people surrender this sacred space to chaos, distraction, and weakness, 1% live differently. They rise not into noise, but into command. They don't stumble into their day, they lead it. Imagine two people waking up at the same time. One rolls over, unlocks their screen, and immediately becomes a servant to headlines, gossip, and algorithms. The other sits up, takes a breath, and greets the silence like an ally. One spends the day chasing, the other spends the day leading. The difference is not luck or talent, it is intention. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." These words were not written for an audience. They were written for himself, a reminder that each morning is the foundation of freedom. This video is not about hacks, tricks, or trends. It's about 7 timeless Stoic practices that transform the first hours of your day into a source of unstoppable strength. They are mental, emotional, and physical disciplines proven by modern science and echoed through centuries of wisdom. Each one builds upon the last, and by the end, you'll see that your morning is not simply the start of a day. It is the start of who you become. So if you've ever wondered why some people seem calm while the world spins out of control, stay with me, because the difference is not what happens to them, but how they choose to wake up. Secret one. Most people treat their mornings like a negotiation. They hear the alarm and begin bargaining with themselves. Just 5 more minutes. Maybe I'll work out later. Maybe I'll meditate tomorrow. But every time you delay, you're not just losing minutes. You're casting a vote for the weaker version of yourself. The Stoics taught that discipline, not motivation, is the true foundation of strength. Motivation is fickle. It comes and goes like the weather. One morning you feel inspired, the next you don't. If you rely on motivation, your habits will always collapse. Discipline, however, is steady. It does not ask if you feel like it. It simply acts because it is who you are. Marcus Aurelius confronted this same battle nearly 2,000 years ago. In his Meditations, he wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I have to go to work as a human being.'" His reminder was simple. Life is not meant to be slept through. Life is meant to be lived fully, even when it feels uncomfortable. Modern science agrees. Researchers studying the cortisol awakening response, CAR, have found that waking at a consistent time each day strengthens your body's natural rhythm for alertness and focus. When you repeatedly hit snooze or shift your wake-up time, you disrupt this biological signal. But when you rise at the same hour, your body learns to prepare, releasing hormones that prime you to be awake, sharp, and ready to move. Think of discipline as the invisible hand that shapes your identity. When you rise on time, you're not just getting out of bed, you're becoming the kind of person who keeps promises to themselves. Over weeks and months, this consistency builds what the Stoics called inner gravity, the ability to lead your emotions rather than be led by them. And here's the truth. Winning this first battle each morning gives you momentum for everything that follows. If you can defeat the soft voice in your head at 5 a.m., you can defeat it at work, in relationships, and in moments of stress. You walk into the world already victorious, while most people are still half asleep. So here's your challenge. Set a wake-up time and protect it like your life depends on it. Don't negotiate. Don't snooze. The alarm rings, you rise. And as you do, say it out loud. Discipline is my alarm clock. Because once you master that first moment, you no longer start the day as a servant to comfort. You start as the commander of your life. Secret 2. When you open your eyes each morning, the first question is simple. Who enters your mind first, yourself or the outside world? For most people, the answer is their phone. Before their feet touch the floor, they've already surrendered their peace to messages, news, and endless feeds of distraction. Their day begins not with clarity, but with noise. The Stoics, however, moved differently. They understood that silence is not emptiness, it is strength. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid with regard to external things." In other words, don't be afraid of silence. Don't be afraid if it feels unusual at first. That quiet is where your power grows. Modern science echoes this wisdom. A randomized trial found that people who limited smartphone use before bed and after waking enjoyed better sleep, improved mood, and sharper memory. Another study revealed that simply having a phone present, even when unused, reduces mood and learning capacity. These findings prove what the Stoics already knew. When you let the world in too soon, you weaken yourself before the day even starts. Instead, choose silence. Give yourself 10 to 15 minutes without devices, music, or conversation. Sit up in bed. Breathe. Let your thoughts pass without chasing them. Ask yourself powerful but simple questions. What energy do I want to carry today? What would the best version of me do this morning? Adding light can help too. Researchers have found that exposure to natural morning light suppresses melatonin and strengthens your cortisol awakening response, making you more alert. Something as small as opening your curtains can align your biology with your intentions. And here's the hidden benefit. Silence in the morning builds resilience for the chaos ahead. When you give your brain space before the world barges in, you create a buffer. Later, when traffic stalls, when criticism lands, or when unexpected problems arise, you carry the calm you built in silence. You become less reactive, more centered, and more capable of leading yourself. So tomorrow, resist the urge to grab your phone. Guard those first minutes as sacred. Let silence be your teacher, your shield, and your foundation. Because clarity never comes from noise. It always comes from within. Say it with me. Silence gives me control. Secret 3. Life rarely unfolds according to plan. You can prepare your schedule, set your intentions, even wake up with discipline and silence, yet still, something will test you. A rude comment, a broken appliance, a traffic jam, an email that ruins your focus before the day has barely begun. Most people stumble in those moments because they never saw them coming. The Stoics taught a practice for this very problem. They called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. At first, it sounds negative. Why start your day thinking of what could go wrong? But the Stoics understood that preparing your mind for adversity is not pessimism, it's power. Seneca once wrote, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." Modern psychology recognizes this practice as a form of cognitive reappraisal or mental rehearsal. Studies on Stoic practices describe it as a healthy habit, one that reduces the shock when problems arise and helps you respond instead of react. By expecting difficulty, you build the emotional muscle to meet it with composure. Here's how you can practice it. After your silent morning time, take a few minutes to preview your day. Ask, what challenges might I face today? What emotion could rise up that I need to keep in check? How would the best version of me handle it? You might picture yourself stuck in traffic, but choosing patience, or walking into a tense meeting, but staying calm. By imagining it now, you're rehearsing strength before the performance begins. The hidden advantage is that you stop being surprised by life. Everyone else is thrown off when things don't go their way. But you saw it coming. You already lived it once in your mind, so when the real test arrives, you're steady. That steadiness is your edge. So tomorrow morning, don't just hope for an easy day. Prepare for a hard one, not because you want suffering, but because you want strength. Then when life delivers its challenges, as it always does, you won't panic. You'll smile inwardly, knowing you already rehearsed this moment. Say it with me. I prepare. I do not panic. Secret 4. Every morning, your identity is fragile. Before the demands of the day press in, before opinions and expectations cloud your mind, you stand at a crossroads. If you don't remind yourself who you are, the world will gladly decide for you. That's why the Stoics anchored their mornings with a daily reminder, a truth that grounded them before chaos arrived. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations not to impress others, but to keep himself steady. He reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. These words were never meant as lofty philosophy. They were a shield, forged each morning to prepare for the battles of the day. Modern psychology confirms the value of such anchors. A clear mantra or affirmation shapes attention, stabilizes mood, and directs behavior. Identity is fragile when you first wake up. Repeating a grounding truth gives your brain a compass. Without it, you wander. With it, you walk into the day with alignment. Your reminder doesn't need to be complicated. In fact, one strong truth is better than a dozen shallow slogans. You might choose, I do not control what happens, only how I respond. Or, this day is a gift, and I will not waste it. For some, the anchor may include faith. God guides my steps. For others, it may be legacy. I live today for my family's future. The form doesn't matter as much as the consistency. What matters is repetition. Write your reminder down. Speak it aloud. Carry it with you until it becomes part of you. Over time, it works like armor. When the world shakes you with criticism, conflict, or fear, the words you repeated in the morning rise to the surface, steadying your heart. So tomorrow, don't leave your identity to chance. Anchor it. Choose a truth that reflects your highest self and claim it before the world tries to distract you. Say it with me. I anchor my mind in truth. Secret 5. The first hour of your day is the most vulnerable. Your mind is soft, impressionable, and wide open to influence. If you allow the world to enter first, through headlines, opinions, or endless notifications, you hand over control. But if you choose to master your mind before the world enters, you step into the day as a leader, not a follower. The Stoics practiced reflection as a daily discipline. Seneca wrote letters to himself. Marcus Aurelius filled notebooks with reminders, and Epictetus urged his students to examine their thoughts. They knew that strength does not come from ignoring your emotions, but from understanding and guiding them. One of the simplest tools to do this today is journaling. Modern research on expressive writing shows that even 5 to 10 minutes a day can improve mental clarity, reduce anxiety, and support physical health. In older adults, practices like journaling and mindfulness have been linked to sharper attention and greater emotional stability. Here's how to practice it. Sit with your notebook in the morning. No agenda, no audience. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What do I need to let go of? What virtue will I practice today? Patience, courage, discipline. Write just a few honest lines. The goal isn't perfection, it's presence. Over time, this daily reflection becomes a private space of strength. You'll notice patterns, your triggers, your habits, your blind spots. You'll catch negative thoughts before they take root. And slowly, you'll build the inner authority to decide what energy you carry into the day. This practice also creates distance between stimulus and response. Instead of snapping when criticized or panicking when plans fall apart, you pause. You remember what you wrote that morning, and you choose a wiser reaction. That pause, that space, is what the Stoics called freedom. So tomorrow, before opening your phone, open a page. Lead your mind before the world has the chance. Say it with me. I lead my mind before the world can. Secret 6. The Stoics knew the body and mind are partners. If the body is sluggish, the mind will follow. If the body is active, the mind awakens. That is why movement in the morning is not about vanity or fitness. It is about command. Each push-up, stretch, or step is a declaration. I lead, not my comfort. Marcus Aurelius challenged himself with this very thought. Is this what you were made for? To huddle under the blankets and keep warm? His words echo across centuries. The body was designed for motion, for facing the day, not for hiding from it. Science strongly supports this ancient wisdom. A 12-week aerobic exercise program in older adults increased blood flow to the brain's frontal regions and improved cognitive performance. Even a single short bout of moderate exercise has been shown to sharpen working memory and self-control for hours afterward. Another study found that people aged 50 to 83 who combined just 30 minutes of daily movement with at least 6 hours of sleep performed significantly better on memory tests the next day. This means you don't need a 2-hour workout to change your life. 10 minutes of deliberate movement each morning is enough to flip the switch in your brain. Stretch your arms, walk in silence, do a set of push-ups, or splash cold water on your face. The form doesn't matter, the signal does. You're telling your body, we are not here for comfort. We are here for strength over time. This ritual rewires your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who avoids effort and start seeing yourself as someone who meets effort with courage. That shift in self-image carries into everything: how you handle stress, how you face conflict, even how you recover from setbacks. So tomorrow, when your body whispers to stay under the covers, move instead. Take the first step, and the mind will follow. Say it with me. I move with discipline. I conquer my day Secret 7. The final secret of the 1% is not about what they do each morning, but about who they become. Actions without identity are fragile. But when you rehearse the person you want to be, your mornings stop being routines. They become training grounds for your highest self. The Stoics called this living in accordance with nature, aligning daily choices with your reason, your values, and your purpose. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Wasted time isn't just idle scrolling. It's living without intention, drifting through days without ever asking, who am I choosing to be? Modern neuroscience shows the power of mental rehearsal. Athletes visualize their performance before competing. Surgeons imagine their procedures before entering the operating room. Studies confirm that mental practice activates the same neural circuits as physical practice, strengthening both confidence and execution. Here's how you can apply it. Each morning, take 2 minutes to visualize yourself as the person you want to be today. Picture walking into your workplace with calm energy. Imagine yourself responding with patience when normally you'd snap. See yourself speaking with clarity and moving with purpose. Don't just think it, feel it. Let your body rehearse the emotions of composure, courage, and strength. Over time, this daily rehearsal sculpts your identity. Instead of drifting into whatever mood the world throws at you, you carry your own chosen energy. You stop reacting and start creating. People around you may notice you're calmer, steadier, more deliberate, but the true change is internal. You begin to trust yourself as someone who shows up with integrity, no matter the circumstance. The point is not perfection, it's practice. Each morning, you set the stage. Each rehearsal is a vote for the stronger version of you, and eventually, those rehearsals become reality. So tomorrow, don't just wake up to do things. Wake up to become someone. Rehearse the version of yourself you'll be proud to meet in the mirror tonight. Say it with me. I rehearse my best self every morning. By now, you've seen the 7 Stoic secrets that separate the 1% from the rest. They don't stumble into their mornings by accident. They design them with intention. They rise with discipline. They protect silence. They preview the day. They anchor their identity. They master their thoughts. They move their bodies, and they rehearse their best selves. Taken together, these practices form more than a morning routine. They create a foundation of freedom. Because if you can control the first hour, you can control the trajectory of the day. And if you can repeat that day after day, you begin to control the arc of your life. The Stoics were not dreamers waiting for fortune. They were warriors of the mind, training daily to meet life with composure and courage. They didn't hope the world would be easy. They prepared for it to be hard. And in that preparation, they found peace. Modern science only deepens their wisdom. Research confirms that consistent wake times strengthen focus, silence protects your mood, reflection builds self-awareness, movement sharpens the brain, and visualization shapes identity. What the Stoics practiced centuries ago, neuroscience now validates. But knowledge means nothing without action. The question is no longer, do I understand these 7 secrets? The question is, will I live them tomorrow morning? You don't need to master all 7 at once. Choose one. Start small. Maybe it's rising without snooze. Maybe it's 5 minutes of silence. Maybe it's writing down one sentence that anchors your day. What matters is that you begin and then repeat. The power of these practices is in their consistency. So let this be the last day you wake up like the 99%. And let tomorrow be the first day you rise like the 1%. Not because you're better than others, but because you're no longer willing to be worse than your potential. Say it with me one last time. I wake up like the 1%. I lead my life with Stoic power. If this message spoke to you, drop your favorite truth in the comments. Share this video with someone who needs it. And don't forget to subscribe. More Stoic wisdom is on the way.